Eyeshadow game can be pretty hard. Sometimes the pigmentation isn't right, or it might look like a patch of mixed colors, which looks gross by the way, and it's nothing like those beautiful eye makeups that we see in photos. So for you, today I am going to give you a lesson on the basics of eye makeup. If you want to have an eye look like this, or might this, you need to watch this full video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Eyeshadow with you. I hope all of you are having a good day so far. If not, I'm going to make this better, because in this video I'm going to give you the secret formula of having pigmented, long-lasting and a gorgeous eye look. So without further ado, let's get in it. Hi, I'm going to show you the things that you want to do and the things that you don't want to do if you want to have that beautiful eye look, because both of these goes side by side. If you don't follow one of them, your eyeshadow game will be a flop. Starting with this. I have my half makeup done. I have done my base and I am going to show you what you need to do to protect your base, basically to protect your under eyes from those fallouts if you do your base before you do your eye looks. If your eyeshadow isn't of extremely good quality, which doesn't have zero fallouts, which is very unlikely because most of the eyeshadow are powdery and they're going to have some amount of fallouts, and that's why sometimes when you finish your makeup you might see a line here, which is basically the fallouts of your eyeshadow, and trust me, it is very hard to remove. You might end up putting more concealer because you can't remove that. So what to do to prevent that? A very simple step is do your eyeshadow first and then do your base. Or if you are doing your base first, you need to have a banana powder or a translucent powder. Yeah, and this is the banana powder by Neon. I will recommend not to use a compact powder. You will see the reason. So I am going to shake it first. So I'm going to take the puff off and I'm going to shake it just so that I have few products. See how much do I have, and that's why it is very much useful if you shake it with a closed lid. Now, how to protect your under eyes. I already have concealer on. I'm just going to smooth it out so that it doesn't have any crease. Now I am going to take my damp beauty blender and I am going to take a ton of powder. We will do baking here. And I am going to put it in my under eyes, and we will not blend it because we will remove it later and it's very dusty here. And that's why banana powder or translucent powders are easier in comparison to compact powders, because they are loose, so it's easier to work with. So that is pretty much done, and I have ton stuck in my beauty blender. Can't help it. Now that we have our base set, we can move on to the eyes. And the first thing you need to do is priming. Now listen to me carefully. If you are working with darker color eyeshadow, your own concealer shade will be fine. But if you are going with lighter colors or pastel colors eyeshadow, you need to have a very light. Even better if you have a white concealer. Artists will know what I'm talking about. If you paint your base with white first, then any color on top of it looks more pigmented and more vibrant. That is a very simple yet easy way to make your colors or eyeshadows more pigmented. I couldn't find a lot of white concealers. The range was pretty limited and they are pricier than normal concealers. So for you, I have a hack. Choose the lightest shade that you can find. It doesn't need to be white, but a light shade will do the job. It is my shade, so I didn't have to buy any extra, which is super nice. So let's prime our eyelid. So for the lid, I like to go with a brush because beauty blenders can be a bit messy for smaller areas. So I'm gonna blend that real quick. See, it is already looking much better. Now we need to set it, and for that I'm using this banana powder. You can use any eyeshadow which is close to your skin tone. That will work as well. And make sure not to over powder it, dust it before you put it in your eyes. Otherwise, if it's too powdery, your eyeshadow will not stick to your eyes. So you want to create that soft spot. Now a secret step that I like to do after setting my lids is I take a setting spray and I am going to spray it a little bit in this beauty blender. And I am going to dab it in. So it is taking all the excess powder that was there and it is going to make the eye base more long lasting. Now let's come to the fun part, which is the actual eyeshadow. Here is a little tip. If your eyeshadow isn't pigmented on the first place, how are you going to make it pigmented? It needs to have some pigmentation for it to perform good in your eyes, right? So from the next time while buying a palette, please check the reviews if it is pigmented or not. If not, then don't go for this. For the reference, I am going to swatch two colors from two different palettes. So from here, I'm going to swatch this yellow, and from here, I am going to swatch this yellow. See the pigmentation of this. They are very different in undertones and colors. This one is a lemon yellow and this one is a mustard yellow. But see the pigmentation. Not so good. Bang on pigmentation. Yeah, like that is what I am talking about. If your eyeshadow isn't pigmented on the first place, it is not going to be pigmented in your eyes. And I'm going to swatch another shade from this palette because this palette isn't good. So this is another shade from this palette. And see its pigmentation, it is pretty nice. So the yellow isn't really good and it is very hard to make a very nice yellow shade. Today I'm going to show you how can you have the very basic brown smoky eye, because that's where all of us started. My next video is going to be all about colors. Those beautiful popping eye looks, I'm pretty sure you have seen them on internet. Yes, we will be talking about that in my next video. So you might want to hit that bell in all. But for now, here you need to know three things before you do an eye look, which is transition, crease and lid. What are these? So the part right next to your brows, that is transition. The fold that you are seeing, it is crease. And the wide space that we have from the corner to the corner, that is a lid. So transition, crease and lid. Now we start with the lightest color and then we gradually move on to the darker colors, and it is applicable for a single color eye look. Suppose you want to do a red eye look. You want to start with the lightest shade of red and then you want to gradually move on to the darkest red. You can put as much color as you want as long as you are following from the light to the dark this concept. Your eyeshadow look is going to be much better. But mind you, it is just for mono eyeshadow. If you are doing just like I'm going to do today, you will go like lightest, medium and darkest. That's how your eyeshadow is going to go. Now let's pick some colors. So let's just jump into the eye look. I'm going to use this palette. It is very pigmented and one of my favorites. Starting with the transition, you want to put a shade which will be 2 to 3 shades darker than your skin tone, not more than that. So I am going to use this one with a fluffy brush. First, I'm going to deposit the color and then I will start blending it in. And you want to go with little bit at a time. You don't want to put a lot of product because it is easier to put on more colors than to take what's already in there. So you want to be very light-handed with this. It is pretty done. Now let's move on to the medium brown. Now there are a lot of different undertones of brown as you guys can see, but I think I'm going to go with these two. And now I am going to change my brush into this. So before for the crease I was using this one and now I'll be using this. You can see the difference between these two. It is much shorter, and that is the next tip. Darker the shadow, smaller the brush. You don't want to put two different colors with this brush because it is going to make it look muddy and your eye look will not look beautiful. So if you want to make beautiful eyes, please invest in some good quality brushes and have a lot of them, because trust me, you need more than you think. I'm going to go with my crease color now, just on that crease. So when you look up, the fold we are putting there. and I am going to bring it close to this corner of my lid. Now it is time for the last shade. For that we need to change the brush into a smaller size, which is this one. See the difference? And as a last shade, I am going to pick this one. Okay, so let's just do it. And with the last shade, I like to make a wing, which gives a more snatched look. And I am going to blend it a little bit with these two colors that we have here. It's done. Now, the last mistake. I have seen so many people who leave their eye look just here. What I mean by that is, once you have started with a progression, you need to finish it with a progression, which means you need to put eyeshadow in your lower lash line as well. Either you can start with the lightest and finish it in the darkest, or you can start with the darkest, which I feel looks much better because then you have a circle of colors: dark, dark, medium, medium, light, light. So for that we need a shader brush, and this is a shader brush. It is by Cuffs and Lashes in the number E003, and if you don't have one of these, you really need to buy one. So let's go with the last shade and put it very close to your lash line, because we have more shades to work with, so one single shade cannot take all the spaces, you know. And I like to keep it till the middle of my lower lash line because I like that. That's done. Now I am going to go with the lightest shade. I am not going to go with the middle shade because once these two will mix, it will create the middle shade. And plus we don't have that much of space for 3 colors, otherwise it will look like panda eyes. So I'm gonna save some space here. See that color diffusion? It is very important, so please do not go with the darkest shade in your lower lash line. Mix it with a soft shade after that. Yeah, I think that's done. Now all we have to do is we need to remove the baking. I'm going to go with a fluffy brush and I'll gently wipe it off. See? So much better. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is all. So the look is done. I hope you liked today's basic lesson session. If you did, you need to hit that like button. If you like this face and want to see more from me, then do not forget to subscribe to this channel and hit on that little notification bell. And you need to make it in all, because if you love makeup, you cannot miss the next video of mine. It is going to be a bomb. And until then, stay happy, keep glowing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.